right, it's Thursday, April 6th, 2023. Just got done at the bank. Got to run a few errands this morning. So why am I at a bank? Why do I have a need to go to a bank? That's what I keep asking myself, because when I walk in there, there's people standing around. And I mean, I walked in today for a specific purpose. Oh, back up a little bit. Okay. Green arrow, that means I can go. So when I pull in to the bank, I get the front spot, you know, it's early, right next to the handicap spot on my left. So I pick the spot, you know, that's right there by the front door. First one to the right of the handicap spot. So before I had water flying everywhere, hydrants, we need the 360 cam so you can see what's going on here. So when I pull in, I'm getting my stuff ready, getting my cash out. Yeah, I know I'm taking cash into a bank. What am I thinking? Well, there's a reason. And somebody pulls up right next to me. And I mean, hugs the line to the left, so they're like right here. And then she's got to squeeze out of the car, and I'm like, there's no other parking spots that are filled. It's just me. She pulls in right next to me to where she's hugging the line, and she's got to get out and squeeze through. And it's a nice car, nicer than the DigiByte. I'm just like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you put yourself in a position where it's going to be harder? Just park a spot away, leave a gap in between. I mean, this is a small town. There's nobody parked there. It's not like you're fighting for a parking spot and you gotta walk. It's like the mall where you're circling and looking for a spot that's closed. Oh, somebody's pulling out, put your blinker on, and then somebody else is coming the other way and you're vying for the spot. I mean, come on, man. Absolutely silly. He's supposed to deliver me some. Anyway, so she goes in and does her thing, I guess. So I walk into the bank, and the first person I walk up to, I said, this is kind of a weird question, but do you have any nickels? Maybe like $100 worth that comes in a box. And she's like, she's younger, and you can tell she's just not with it. And so she goes back and asks the manager, the same manager that called me on the phone after I left my Litecoin card in the ATM and said, don't do that anymore. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. I mean, she's all right, but she's seen me with crypto shirts on before and says, oh, you're into that stuff? Anyway, so it's like kind of a love-hate thing. I like her, but there's just a little bit of that edge. So anyway, she goes back and asks her, you know, about the nickels, and then the little girl comes back and says, oh, yeah, I can get those. Walks into the safe, pulls out a big box of nickels, and it's $100. So I throw down 5 20s, old ratty 20s. I'm telling you, none of the bills are any good. None of them have been created after 2017. Look at the dates. They're basically letting cash go, not creating any more. So anyway, I got this ratty cash that is just barely holding together. And they all have buy Litecoin stamped on them. So that's the reason I took cash into the bank. So put that back in there. Put a little message. I don't know, these buy Litecoin bills, I keep coming across them. So I paid for the $100 box of nickels with 5 dirty fiat notes, and I walked out with $100 worth of nickels. Now you can all go look this up. What's the metal content in a nickel? You know, just a nickel that you'd get at the bank. You don't have to sort them. It's not like it's silver, 64 and before. You got to go through. It's not like it's a copper penny to where if it's, you know, 1982, before 1982, and some of them in 1982, they have 5% copper, I think. Maybe 97.5%, I don't know, whatever it is, it's like 2.5 cents in copper in any one of those pennies that you can still pull out of circulation. Not that many, it's probably like, I'm gonna say 15% of the pennies that are in circulation, maybe 10 that I come across. I bet when it's like 2.5 cents in copper. Why wouldn't you pull it out and put it in a separate jar? So the nickels, you don't even have to do that. And silver coins, you know, you look through your dimes and quarters, once in a while you'll find a silver dime. And I mean, that thing's worth like $1.60, $1.70, whatever, probably close to $2 right now, because silver's gone up a little bit. But why wouldn't you not take that out of circulation? Why would you spend that when it's got $2 worth of purchasing power that's held its value since 1964, before, whatever? Why would you pay 10 cents for something with it? It's just like a silver dollar. Okay, I'm rambling. Okay, 20 years ago, I go into a local bank where we used to live, a small town, Western Illinois, close to where Wyatt Earp was born. And I go into the bank, And I said, you got any silver dollars? You know, at the time I'm thinking, not silver dollars. You know, you say silver dollars. I said, you got any dollar coins? I think I said. And she's like, oh yeah, we got this old one. She pulls out a Morgan silver dollar out of her drawer. I said, yeah, I'll take that. So I hand over $1 bill and she gives me the Morgan silver dollar because in their mind, it says it's worth $1. It's got $1 stamped on it. And so they're going to take $1 Fed note. And I'm like, you're giving me sound money and I'm giving you fake money. And at that point, I don't know, it wasn't my awakening because I'd been in the silver, but at that point I'm like, all right, maybe there's a way to game this system. So I went and I ordered a bunch of dollar coins to see if I can get, you know, any more silver dollars in the rolls, and never did. I don't even know, I might have come across a 40% silver Eisenhower or something, but I can't go down this road. Sometimes the universe speaks to you. I'm not really sure what's happening here. I want to make sure I can go down this road. So, okay. Go into the bank, and I'm thinking, okay, how do I game the system? Can I game this system a little bit and game it the right way? You know, it's like Trump. I didn't pay taxes. Why didn't you pay taxes? Because I'm smart. Because none of you pay taxes. You just act like you pay taxes, you know, but with foundations, trusts, and all this stuff, you really don't pay taxes. It's a big scam. That's basically what it is. But you can do it by the book, through the rules that they've created, the loopholes they've created for themselves. So anyway, I'm at the bank today doing such a thing, and I bought $100 worth of nickels, and I paid with dirty fiat. All right, so go look it up, and I think you can go to coinflation.com, coinflation.com, and on that website, it will tell you all the values, basically the metallic, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to turn around, F this. Here we go. Find the path of least resistance and take it like electricity. Find the path of least resistance. Be electric, baby, because we all are electric, by the way. So I go into the bank. Sorry, I'm just rambling. Go into the bank. At least I don't have a dog jumping up in front. Go into the bank. Am I rapping now? Go to the bank. Go to the bank. All right, settle down. Haven't even had the coffee. I buy a box of nickels. So if you go to coinflation.com, you can actually see how much a nickel is worth. Again, not a nickel from 1964, not a nickel from 1950. If you get nickels during like 43 to 45, they have silver and they're worth a lot more because of the war. But just a standard nickel that's been made for 50, 70, 75 years, whatever, you don't even have to sort through it. That nickel has 75% copper in it and 25% nickel. I mean, metals that are needed for industry, okay? So you're able to invest in nickel, unlike JP Morgan, who they thought they had a bunch of nickel and it ended up being a bunch of bags of rocks in the warehouse. So no, you can actually go and get nickel and copper in the form of coinage, which it's always going to have 5 cents value, face value. You know, so it's not like you're throwing it into some speculative investment. No, you're buying a nickel. You're just trading out dirty fiat Fed notes for a nickel that's minted by the, you know, the mint, U.S. Mint. All right. So if you look and see how much that metal is and how much it weighs on coinflation.com, I'm going to say it's worth more than 5 cents. It's been up over 10 cents, nearly 12 cents worth of nickel and copper in that one nickel. So if you're buying it for 5 cents and it's worth 12 cents when you walk out the door, it's like, holy cow, you know, I'm preserving some wealth. I'm gaming the system. And at some point, they're going to take it out and you won't, you know, put junk in it like they did with the penny. Take the copper out, put zinc in. It's cheaper. So they'll continue to do that to where it's just not efficient anymore. And that's kind of where they're at now. They're just going to make it all digital. A lot more efficient, a lot cheaper for them, a lot more control. You know, so now I've got nickels in my possession. Then what are they going to do about it? I'm always going to be able to spend it. I'm always going to be able to do something with it. And in fact, that $100 probably became about 110, 120 when I walked out the door. Why? Because of the metal content. Again, just like if you'd done the same thing in 1964, when you knew that the 90% dimes and quarters, they're 90% silver, when you knew they're going to take the silver out. And you're like, I'll take a $20 bill and I'll buy all the quarters I can, all the dimes I can. And now they're worth about 20 times that because they've held their value, whereas the $20 bill did not. So same thing in my mentality. I'm like, all right, I can't lose on this bet. The nickel is worth the metal content. It's always got the face value. I can always spend it. I can go back in there, take the rolls in and say, here, give me cash back. You know, it doesn't matter. I can do any of those things. So why wouldn't I do that? You know, people are out buying silver eagles right now and paying $40 for a silver eagle when the spot price is 25. Does that make any sense? I mean, I get it. You want to get the silver, but I mean, if you're looking for metal content, and I think all metals will do well in an economic collapse, silver, copper, gold, platinum, you know, whatever. I think, but the lower denominated things, you know, the metals that are industrial, that are needed. I mean, if the dollar takes a crap, those things are still going to have more value than what the face value is. I mean, they're going to have a value. Copper is always going to have a value because it has a use. Nickel is always going to have a value because it has a use. I think you got to use it in the stainless steel industry. You need nickel for the steel. It's a no-brainer. I'm just trying to look at opportunities to where the whole system is crashing. I mean, it really is. The whole system is falling apart in front of us, and you can either be in willful denial because you're invested in that system and you think everything's going to be okay, everything's fine. I can't even think about it because if I start thinking about it, I realize all my retirement's gone. I'm never getting Social Security. All that stuff that's locked up into the old system, it's going to die with the old system. And so once you acknowledge that, once you say that, yeah, it's probably all going to go away. And, you know, not half-heartedly jesting, yeah, but Social Security's probably going to run out by the time I get there. Well, I'm 50. I'm getting close. And it ain't going to be there. And if it is, it's so just destroyed and inflated. It has no purchasing power. So what do? What am I supposed to do? All the money that I put into the system, I'm not getting back. Not getting it. And if I do, it's going to be just so watered down. It's going to be like Bud Light. It's going to be so watered down, it's got no good flavor to it, no taste to it anymore. I'm not buying any more Bud Light. I'm done. I'm not even going to buy any Busch products, Anheuser-Busch products. They got sold out. I mean, some European company bought them several years back. Bush family didn't have controlling interest forever. I mean, as far as stock ownership, I should say. So it doesn't even matter. It's not even American made. You know, all the galloping Clydesdales and it's just, you know, it's all propaganda. It's sold out. All right. It's sold out. Now we got Jack Daniels selling out to RuPaul drag racing. I'm done. I'm not drinking Jack Daniels anymore. I'm just going to search out those things that there's all kinds of bourbons and whiskeys. So why do I care? If Jack Daniels is going to do something stupid and woke, you know what? I don't have to buy it. I'm not going to spend my energy and my labor doing it. I'm just not going to do it. Buy some scotch. I'll buy it from a foreign country at this point. You know, at least they wear skirts with dignity over there in Scotland. So I'll buy some scotch. Sorry about that rant. But, you know, again, put your money, your energy, your money into things that matter to you. It's not worth it. It's not worth supporting these. They're gonna have a political agenda, these companies, and they're not worried about producing a product that's good. Then fine. If I'm supporting an agenda, I'm not supporting you. I'm just not doing it. So I make that choice. All right, gives a new meaning to Busch Light, though, doesn't it? I wonder how that. There's some kind of marketing there. You like my mountains, you like my bush. Anyway, all right, back to the nickel thing. That's one thing that you can do right now. You can go to the bank and you can buy $10 worth of nickels. You walk out with 5 rolls. And it's probably about $11 or $12 worth of metal value. So you're not paying the premium for a silver eagle, because you just want silver. You know, you are actually getting paid to buy it. They're paying you to take possession of the metal. I mean, think about that. Let that run through your head. You are getting paid to take possession of metal. And think of the work that it takes to get that stuff out of the ground and refine it and process it into that form. I mean, it's much more than, say it's worth 6 cents. I don't know. I should look it up. Say it's worth 6 cents right now, each nickel, and you're paying 5 cents for it. I mean, that's just the melt value. I mean, think about the effort that it takes to put it in a coin form. And so that way, that, hey, it weights and measures are on point and, it's legitimate. The U.S. minted it. I mean, just think about, that effort. So they probably got double that in it, just the processing and all that stuff. So anyway, all right, a nickel. Here we go. Yeah, 5 cents. A face value, 5 cents for a nickel. It says metal value 0.0611. So over 6 cents for every nickel. All right, mother plucker. I can't even lift it. This is how difficult it is. Look at this. Good Lord. I'll put it in the back seat. That thing's wet. Look at this. Look at this thing. Look at it. Look at all these. $100 worth of nickels. I mean, look how heavy this is. Think about what that takes, the effort to get this stuff. But no, you can take these pieces of crap and buy them. It's a no-brainer. I mean, it really is. Everybody's out. There's going to be this frenzy. Everybody's talking about CliffHigh, talking about unobtainium silver. Okay, if it gets unobtainium, it's going to flow through. It's just like gold. If gold spikes, silver's going to get pulled up. Bitcoin spikes, Litecoin's going to get pulled up. All the other cryptos are going to get pulled up. If silver spikes and goes to $600 an ounce, what do you think's going to happen to nickel? What do you think's going to happen to copper? And you can leverage up right now. You can be ahead of the game right now, and you can go buy some nickels. Now watch everybody's. Let's have a run on the bank. Let's run the nickels out. But you can right now go take possession of those things. Oh, and go back to my story. So I lay down the $100 and ratty fiat, dirty fiat notes. Ironically, with Andrew Jackson on the Federal Reserve note $20 bill. And the lady that, had called me on the whole Litecoin card thing, in the ATM prior. Anyway, she comes out and says, what are you going to do with all those nickels? And it's like, what business is it of yours? That's what I wanted to say. But I'm like, oh, no, I just got this machine. It's got one arm on it, and it, it requires nickels, and it's running out. And she's like, oh. I'm just like, what are you going to do with all those nickels? I'm gaming your system, I'm putting you out of a job. That's what I'm doing. They serve no purpose, these bodies in there. And I mean, they got the heat on because it was cold this morning. They're going to have the air conditioning on, and all this energy, this brick and mortar building, people standing there, sucking up air. What do they do? What do they do? If this all goes digital, what purpose is their free physical bank? You're not depositing cash. You may just be exchanging it for digital credits for a time, and there's going to be a window on that. That'll be it. You may have an ATM where you just put it in and you get your digital credits. And see, that's it. And I actually went around to the ATM and took the cash out with my card after I bought the nickels. I could have done it inside the bank, but I'm just like, I don't even want to deal with them. I don't even want to deal with these people anymore. I really don't even want to deal with them because they're the Gestapo. They're just sitting there so they can fill out, an SAR, suspicious activity report. They're just there to rat you out. That's all they are. They're an arm of government at this point. They stand there and they ask you questions. Well, why do you need $1,000 cash? I didn't take that much out, but why do you need $100? They probably wouldn't question that, but why do you need $100 worth of nickels? What are you going to do with them? I mean, give me a break. What are you going to look up on your computer when you go back there? Are you going to surf the internet? I mean, what are you doing? Is it banking related? And it's just, that's the situation you're in. These are, when you go into a casino and they've got the bars and you go to cash out your money and exchange tokens for fiat and whatever it may be. This is what you're dealing with. You can go to that window and take those poker chips and you can say, hey, I want to get this and exchange it for this. And they'll be like, That's quite a bit. I need to fill out this form. I need to call the manager over. We need to get some fingerprints and ID. Well, they already got your digital fingerprint, your face scan and all that. So you're already in their system. They already got you locked in. And all they are is gatekeepers now. They're like little mini brown shirts, little Gestapo people. And all they want to do is just, question you and interrogate you and poke at you, needle you a little bit. That's all they do. There's no use for these people anymore. Everything that they do, loans, transfer of money, all this stuff can be done digitally. It can be done with the blockchain. You don't even need the banks. But you know what? Hey, the Fed now is going to be good. And they're going to use as XRP. They're going to use whatever ISO 222. But that's going to take money away from the bad guys. They're not going to be able to transfer it anymore. Whatever. Fine, that'd be great if that happens. But until then, I want nothing to do with their system. I want nothing to do with that banking system. I don't give a crap if it works at all anymore. I'm done with it. I'd rather be in a system to where I can walk away, and as difficult as it is, I can take this with me, and it's mine. I own it, and I know what it is. It's like DigiByte. Silver, you got an ounce of silver. It's like Litecoin. You got an ounce of gold. It's like Bitcoin. But I ain't got to lug it around. I can transfer it anywhere I want, any time of the day, 24/7, 365 days a year, 366 days on a leap year. Yes, I can do that. There's nothing that can stop it. That network runs outside of that vampire banking system. You don't have people saying, hey, you sure you want to transfer that? You sure you want to send that Litecoin? You sure you want to send that DigiByte? What are you going to do with it? No, you don't have that problem. You can do whatever you want. It's your money. It's your energy. You control it. It's decentralized. No central bank. Is that wind? No central bank. No government. It's a whirlwind, about this upon us. No, seriously. I'm like, what was that? You ever been, speaking of whirlwinds, we had some tornadoes here. One was 160 miles an hour. They call it an EF3. And it wasn't that far from here. But, fortunately it broke up and missed us. But tornadoes are an interesting thing, and I think they happen all the time. You just don't realize it, because out here in the country, you can see it. It's a lot of corn stalks, a lot of leaves, and so you'll see the little spiral motion. It's like picking the leaves up and spinning. And the same with the corn stalks. You'll see it in the fields. And you've got these mini tornadoes all the time. I think one of the southwestern, one of the southwestern tribes and other indigenous peoples around the world, they look at those things as spirits. And I think depending upon which way it's turning, clockwise or counterclockwise, determines whether or not it's a good spirit or a bad spirit, evil spirit, or ancestor or something, good spirit. But it's just interesting. I think tornadoes are around us all the time. It's just some get really big because there's a lot more energy. But I'll go out here. I was just standing with the dogs the other day, and it wasn't windy out. And then all of a sudden there was just, and I looked, I thought it was a gust of wind, just a big gust of wind coming, over the prairie. No, because it wasn't windy after that. It was just windy when it went through us. And so it was like a little mini tornado, because I watched it go into the field, and I saw the leaves spin, then I saw the corn stalks spin. And so that little concentrated energy, whatever it is, I think they happen on Earth all the time. I don't know, just another tangent that I'm on. And is it plasma energy? I guess that's the thing. I think we might live in a plasma universe. Something to look into. It's like lightning, plasma. Is a tornado just a concentration of lightning energy? Plasma energy dissipating itself and, righting the universe, finding balance. Don't know. Anyway, look that up. Go get some nickels. Think about getting some nickels if it's something that you resonate with. But I'm just looking at things to get outside that system. I don't want to be a part of it, because I'm sick and tired of being treated like a criminal. That's all they do. A bank treats you like a criminal every time you walk in there. Well, what are you doing? What do you need? Why do you need to transfer that? Why do you need to do that? So that's why I just go through the ATM. I do it all digitally. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with a human being when there's no necessity to deal with the human being. And when you do, all they want to do is try and figure out what you're doing wrong. That's not a good system. That's not a healthy system. That's a system that's trying to hang on to itself. That's a vampire casino that realizes, wait a minute, people aren't sitting at the table anymore. You know, they're starting to not participate in the game anymore. And, you know, we really need to, you know, overshoot instead of, you know, realize what's happening. So I don't care what this FedNow thing brings. I don't care what the spin is on it. It's still part of their system. I don't care what token it uses. I'm not knocking XRP. It's just, I don't care about XRP. I just don't. I mean, if it's not, it's centralized. I mean, there's still like half the coins that are held by Ripple or held by somebody, a central agency. I mean, I don't want any part of that. I want something decentralized to where the market will decide, to where I can say, okay, this is how many there are going to be. I can do whatever I want with it. I can hold it in my possession. That's all. You know, I don't want these coins that are created out of nothing. And then it can be, the market can be manipulated just like the Fed does right now with the currency. Oh, let's increase it. Oh, let's pull it back. Let's do this. Let's do that. No, I don't want any part of it. Don't want any part of that. I just don't. And if you do, that's fine. But if there's a system built on that, I have very little faith in it. It doesn't hold your value. It might work. It might be efficient. And it might transfer value much better than the cobbled up system that we have right now. But it doesn't even matter. There's already alternatives out there that can fix it. We just got to start using them. So as these banks crash, as the this government continues to try to bail out the system and shove money into it, it's a confidence game. And once that con is identified and people lose confidence, this whole thing collapses. I mean, it'll collapse as fast as SVB did, Silicon Valley Bank. I mean, it doesn't take much. It's just when people wake up and say enough is enough. I don't believe my money's safe in there, and they start taking it out and they say, hey, give me all the nickels, give me all the pennies, give me all, you know, all these things that have no premium, no markup. And you take possession of it. Take possession of everything. I'd rather take possession of the nickels than the dollar bills. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, that nickel, if the dollar collapses, the nickel, even though it says 5 cents on it and it's minted by the U.S., it still has value. So, I mean, you got the best of both worlds. You can spend it right now in the vampire casino, and you can spend it out on the street. The government can collapse and that nickel still has value. It's just like any coin, like a Roman coin that's got silver in it. The Roman Empire collapsed, but that still has value because it's still got silver. Doesn't matter. It exists outside of government because it has God's money in it. Essentially, it comes out of the earth. It's just that easy. So anyway, that's my nickel story. You know, it's just one way to take possession of wealth. Winning. All right. Sorry about the rant, but I mean, it is what it is. Look into crypto. Look into things that you can take possession of. Nickels. Get paid to walk away and take possession of it at this point. Worth 6 cents each nickel. You're only paying 5 for it. Kind of a no-brainer. Just saying. I know it's hard to lug around, but it's not going to be a burden if each nickel is worth $1 and has $1 worth of purchasing power, is it? Not so much of a burden anymore. It's like people say, well, I'd rather have gold because it's more portable than silver. The only reason it's more portable than silver is because right now we assign a high value to it in compared to silver. When silver hits its real ratio to gold, silver ain't going to be a problem to transport because you're like, oh, that's a good concentration of wealth. If every silver coin is worth $500, well, it's not so much of a problem, is it? No, not at all. So you got to look at it that way. Right now, gold might be more portable, but what if, as Bix Weir says, there's tons and tons and tons more gold on the earth than there is silver? What if that's the case? Not such a big problem holding silver anymore, is it? You'll figure it out. You'll dig a big hole and put a vault in it. You know, buy a building and secure it and put vaults in it. You know, you do whatever you got to do because it'll be worth it. It's worth more than gold. All right. Love y'all. Have a wonderful Thursday. I appreciate your time, effort at getting through this video. I know it's probably not easy. I appreciate y'all. I really do. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Trust yourself in all this. I'm just throwing out ideas and rambling because that's what I do, but you got to trust yourself. You know, look into things that are undervalued and get them into your possession. Things that you're going to be able to use. You know, do you need a Rolex watch? Probably not. And historically, it's held value. But, you know, in a time where people are just going to be fighting for food, is the Rolex going to do you any good? Just saying. And there's a lot of other things like that. If you can do something with it right now, and that's fine if you like the Rolex, buy it back later for, you know, pennies on the dollar. Now's not the time to be messing around with stuff that has no real intrinsic value, that doesn't serve a purpose. This, you can get a Litecoin watch. Pay with Litecoin. A lot cheaper than a Rolex at this point. And it still tells time. That's what a watch does, right? Tells time. The thing is, I wouldn't want to walk around with a Rolex watch, even if I got to afford one at this point, because you'd end up like the guy in San Francisco yesterday. I think the founder of CashApp ends up knifed to death. You walk around, you know, conspicuously consuming things and walking around in Rolexes. I mean, now's not the time for that, because people are going to get desperate and they're going to look at targets and say, you know what, I'll take that chance. I don't care how big the dude is. I'll take the chance, because if I get that Rolex, I'm going to do something with it. I can change my day, change my week, change my month, change my life maybe. Man, it's not a good way to go out. Don't win stupid prizes, as Cliff says, right? Yeah. Do like Jelly Roll says, when I get rich, I'm going to still act broke. Wake up. Anyway, put on yesterday's clothes. Love you all. Have a wonderful day. Tomorrow's Friday. Time for happy hour. We'll be having some drinks, smoking a cigar, talking about all this craziness that's going on in the world as everybody pulls away from the dollar and everything falls apart and Western civilization collapses. Stock up on your whiskey and cigars. Just don't make it Jack Daniels. Don't be buying Bud Light. I'm not anyway. All right. Love you all. Have a wonderful Thursday. Trust yourselves. Trust yourselves.